Asociación para el Avance de la Instrumentación Médica. Ha vivido y trabajado en Canadá, España.
Thank you very much. So I'm gonna, my presentation will be in English. Puedo hacerlo en español, pero mi español no es tan bueno y los términos técnicos son difíciles. And I completed my studies in '94. Then I started to work at Shannon Design, which was at the time the largest industrial design firm in Canada. So as you can see, I started in '94 production. Shoes, because I guess you have to design a shoe at one point. This is also a manufacturer in the world, and all the dashboard, the ceiling, and all that. And we work with it. It was just beautiful mock-up to the level in the plane, and both levels in the first class were done. To Canada, but still. And we have an office in Shanghai as well. And that's what I wanted to show you a little bit what we're doing with it. So, except for the pool company, all the places that I work, we were still doing medical devices. Sometimes, we did not really know what we were doing, but we were still doing medical devices. And at Worrell, that's what we do, I would say 95% of the time. So Worrell started in 41 years ago, so it's 1 year older than this program. And Bob Worrell started the company, and we're focusing, as I mentioned, on healthcare products. So we do a lot of ethnographic research. We do a lot of departments, if you want, that we have inside Worrell. We have research. You are doing medical devices. Potentially, what you will be designing may kill people. So that will be laughing, but that could be the ultimate of what could happen. But you can really hurt people, or slow down surgery, and that will create some problems for the patients. So FDA, which is the American, is safe for use. So that is a lot of testing with people to make sure that it's safe. And people, I'm not saying us, unfortunately, we're talking about surgeons, nurses. This is just for one of them. We've done 5 or 6 different devices so far for this. For most people working in the office, because you can throw like 60 hours in your week, who cares? You know, when you're working on stuff like that, it's amazing. So, what have we done with that? Well, nothing that touches the brain. Obviously, we're a bunch of designers, so you don't trust us. But basically, we had to redesign the cart and all the equipment that the surgeon is using inside the viewing room that you saw on the other side. And also work on all the user interface for the software, which was a mess. So that's what we worked on. So we visited 9 hospitals, 7 different sites of visual aids. We saw 8 cases, and we interviewed 35 people for this project. And then after that, so those are the cases. It's a very clean surgery. I mean, there's literally no blood, nothing. It's very, very nice. And then we did, as I mentioned before, co-creation. So all different people, different stakeholders from the client side came back, and we started to organize all the thoughts and all the things that we want to do on the project. So you may discover, I don't know, 100 different things that you could work on, but you need to focus on the scope of work. So that's what we do in those days. So we have images, we have comments, we have skulls, you know, fun stuff. So first thing we've done from an industrial design perspective, we started to look at what kind of configuration this thing should have. So should we go into viewing room only or into where you have the scanner also? Which part could be on one side, which part could be on the other side? So the layout or the architecture of the product was extremely important. You cannot put anything with metal in the scanner area because this is a big magnet. So that's why when you have a scan, you have to remove everything that is metallic on your rings and everything else. So where we put those components. Then we look at the reach, the access, viewing display, height, all that stuff. To get to a round of concepts here that you see on top, and to complete with a module that you could detach from each other or to keep it together, depending on the type of rooms that you will have. So that was quite an interesting project, and this is the new also user interface. So we started the project with a screen that was landscape. Turned that up. It was making a lot more sense for the type of visuals that you needed to show during the surgery. So right now we are at the industrial design of the card was modified quite a lot for cost reason. And the user interface, we are at the 4th generation. So there's a lot of, you make a prototype, you test it. Make a prototype, you test it. So this is the type of product where you want to make sure you know when to turn the switch off, when you warm up the probe, the laser. The other one is Thoratec. So this is when you have heart failure. There's different reasons. Always a bunch of disclaimer at the beginning. They don't want to get sued. But basically, what you have is your heart here, and then the pump is installed, and this is all inside your heart, your body, right? And then you have a line that comes out here, and that is the power to bring. So, I'm sorry, I'm laughing talking about that stuff. But so here you can see the pump here going on, and so your heart might not beat your left ventricle, and then a pump is attached here, goes through here, and then goes back into your aorta that push blood everywhere. So what you have is basically a turbine inside just below your heart. So when you think about it, people who have that, they don't have a heartbeat. So it's continuous flow. So if you take their heartbeat, there's nothing. That's kind of creepy. So so what you have here is the cable that come out goes into a computer, if you want, a controller, and that controller is connected to 2 batteries. So you constantly live with this, and if the battery fails, well, one of the side effects of having this product, if you go on their website, is dead. So it's literally you can die because nothing will be pushed to your brain and you die. So how important it is to have those two batteries connected at all time is vital. I mean, and for real, you're gonna die if you don't have that. So you have the computer here and it's connected to two batteries. At night, when you go to bed, you disconnect one of the battery and you connect it to a tabletop unit that is connected, to the wall. And then you disconnect the second one and then you connect it there. But those people, they live, there's two ways that you can have this. Is either waiting to have a heart transplant. So it could be a year, 2, 3 years, and then you receive a new heart, and then you're good to go. Or it's called destination therapy, and the destination is the end of their days. I mean, it's dead. So it's called destination therapy, so which is kind of bizarre. But people that would die, and if they have that installed, they can live 5, 6, 7 more years. The biggest problem with this device is at the entry point here, when it goes into your body, right after the surgery, there are some tissues that are being created right by your body, just surrounding that cable, and you have to keep that extremely clean. So, and sometimes people might drop this as they're switching it. And yes, if you drop it, then it creates like a little tug on your cable, and then you break those tissues, and then infection goes in. And when infection goes in, it goes up, goes into your heart, and then your blood get infected, and there's only one outcome, you die. So this is a really intense product. So it's really awesome. And we talk to people having those pumps, and it's fascinating because they live under another in another world. For them, this equipment is basically saving their life every minute. So there's cases of car accidents where the guy had that and he was unconscious in the car, and when the paramedic arrived, they take his pulse, and the guy had no pulse. So they started to do cardiac massage, and they start pumping the guy, and they dislodge all the pump from the patient's heart, and he died. So this is an extreme type of product. So sometimes you don't know where industrial designs will take you. All right, so what have we done? Again, nothing that was touching the heart. Again, smart people, not giving designers the task of doing that. But basically, their task was they had a new technology that I cannot share with you, but a different way to recharge the batteries. And that involved having a completely new set of accessories and devices external to their body. And this is a product that people live with 24/7, all the time. So it's not like your phone that you think that you're using all the time. I can see some are using it right now. And this is 24/7. You're gonna die if you don't have that. And you have to bring that with you everywhere. So, and this is for male, female, and the age. I met a 22-year-old patient, and I met a 75-year-old patient. So the range of who will have those products is extremely high. So the first thing we've done is we wanted to have feedback from users, existing users. So we did like a not that great prototype right here, and we started to see a bunch of people just to start to talk to them. Then after that, we did what we know, and we created a discovery kit, a little box here, because again, that's a product that you live with. So we had to recruit people that were having this device. So we went in a few places to be able to do that. And then we started to design a series of concepts of what would be perfect for them, right? That's what we thought. And we created two different families of product that we called Onyx and Parts. And one was obviously black with felt and leather, like very rich looking and quality looking. A little bit more masculine than feminine, we believe. And some of the equipment that you see there, like this is surgical equipment, so that is only used during the surgery. And then we looked at how to redesign. We could not redesign the battery itself, but all the holder and the computer and the certain elements that you would have. The user interface also for each concept. And then we went out again well, first we did a phone survey, it's true, to just have the feedback on those two, some sort of preference testing if you want. You prefer this one or this one, and then we're going through a series of questions about that. So we talked to 25 people during that project. And then we did a series of prototypes of all of our concepts. And it was quite a challenge because when we did the recruitment, we were asking them their size because it's kind of customized. You have like small, medium, large, extra large, and we never knew if they were telling us the truth. So we had to prototype small, medium, large in a fairly good quantity to make sure that when we were showing up in their house, we would be able to fit them. And there's nothing more embarrassing to show up with a medium and they try it and then they should have a large, right? So it's not fun. So we were careful with that. And so we had a lot of equipment, a lot of prototypes. And the idea was to meet them, fit all the equipment, and all the people that we talked to at that point were explanted. So that means they had before the system, but they did not have it yet. They received a new heart since they had the equipment. So they knew exactly what it was to live with those devices. So they were able to give us proper feedback. And we decided to keep it white, so the design language was adapted to the surgical team with white, and everything for the users were this color. And if you look at the quality of materials that we used here compared to the concepts, it's like a few steps down. And the reason behind it is we heard things that we never thought about, which is this big bag that you see here. They have a complete set of the computer, batteries, harness, everything. They have a double in the bag that they carry with them everywhere they go. So if I would have a pump right now, my bag would be right there, just in case there's failure, because if there's failure again, I'll die. So I want to have backup all the time. So they were telling us if the bag is too nice, people will steal the bag. So, let's tone it down a few notches. So you think you're very good by designing beautiful products, and here we heard the opposite. Don't make it too nice because someone will steal it. The other thing was also insurance companies, right? If you're starting to give, in the US, it's private insurer, so they think differently than systems like here or in Canada or in Europe or basically everywhere around the world except the US. They are concerned about the cost of those devices. If you give a beautiful leather bag to the patient, that's kind of bizarre. So we also interaction, the connectivity, the assembly, the performance of the medical devices is number one, right? But everybody is a consumer.
Placebo, digo, no sé qué haga, no sé el aspecto.
Repito otra vez, tampoco entendió la práctica.
Ok, ahorita preguntamos allá.
A veces es de este tamaño, ¿no? Tablets y todo eso, y electrónica, y tenemos que ponerlo en una caja de este tipo.
Like if they are gonna die or what. So
Will it be machines or designs, and how will that affect the medicine part and also like us designers? Like it will make more jobs for us, or will it help?
So there's already surgeries that are being done by robots. So there's the Diseño system that exists for roughly 10 years, where you have controls, like joystick and a screen, and you have the table just beside, and it's only very small, invasive tools that will go inside to small cuts, and then it goes in with cameras. They're able to go and remove what they have to remove. So technology is moving that way. The other technology that we are, or at least a lot of people are using every